because I was talking about the 5 things that you can use to assess any civilization, to see if it's going to survive or not. Or if you meddle with those 5 things, you can end a civilization. Seriously, you can actually genocide an entire civilization by messing with these 5 things. Number 1, the currency. Number 2, the birth rates. Number 3, small business. Number 4, land and property ownership by the people, not the government, the people themselves. And number 5 is taxes. That's what I was referring to. That's what I was talking about. And there are certain groups of people that, like, unfortunately, TikTok is extremely controlled now, because if they want to stay around in the U.S., well, they have to keep the Orange administration happy. That's the truth. It's literally one guy that they have to keep happy. And that one guy doesn't really like me because I call him out on his bullshit. And, like, just like I did everybody else, by the way, I'm consistent on this. This has nothing to do with Republicans, dude. I've called everybody out on this, because one of the things that you learn when you're someone who doesn't clan and you don't really care, and you see everybody for the worthless pieces of shit that they all are, everybody, when you see that, yeah, I know, unique snowflakes and all that other crap, but yeah, you're all useless pieces of shit as far as I'm concerned. And when you see the world that way, you can call everybody out equally. Yeah, and they don't like that. They don't like that, especially when you call out the math on it. And especially when you start talking about the currency, and the currencies themselves are all basically just unworkable Ponzi schemes that require endless amounts of cheap labor to keep them propped up. That includes the US dollar. That includes almost every other currency out there, by the way. Every other fake government currency issued by every other government fits that exact profile. And the reason being is because they have to conjure from nothing, and they have to give it some kind of value, which means it has to be lent out. It has to have debt on top of it. That's why the USD is just basically a debt-based currency. So in order to keep that going, you need to have people perpetually working and wanting to exchange and do things for these fake currencies. Hard currency ends all of that. That's how, the harder the currency, the longer the civilization stands a chance at survival. Number 2, birth rates. If you're just going to create a bunch of fake jobs, particularly for women, and give them fake jobs and have them go and pretend to work all day long and not have kids, yeah, your civilization is pretty much doomed at that point, because they're not going to replace your replacement's 2.1. Right now, in over 90 countries, I want to say, last I heard it was about 95 countries, and it's probably more now, are in full-blown demographic decline. And that's probably not going to come back anytime soon because of this, because of all the other problems that are created as a result. Number 3 is small business. Your small businesses are being eradicated to protect the host parasites. You're like, what do you mean host parasites? Yeah, it means the parasites have gotten bigger. These giant mega corporations have gotten bigger than the people can support, which is why many of these companies are basically, they're dying, and they don't know what to do. That's why the stores that are owned by these mega corporations, they're busting with inventory, and they've got tons of money, but there's no buyers because you have a civilization. Remember, your birth rate, you just have lower demand. That's reality. And they can't have them go away. So, and they don't know what to do because they have just endless amounts of debt that they've perpetuated. Number 4 is your land ownership by individuals. Let's say that you're a senator and you want to have some big, massive, sprawling mega estate. So you buy 190 acres out in the woods somewhere, and then you go in and you vote to have millions of acres made into a so-called private game preserve around you, so that you're the only one for like millions of acres. Yeah, that's exactly how that plays out. It has nothing to do with environment, dude. It has nothing to do with them. None of this has to do with environment. It has to do with a handful of people wanting to be able to control vast swaths of land, so that way the American people, speaking to Americans, can't buy cheap land, build houses, and build lives, because that's exactly what would happen, because then your birth rates would come up. And they're trying to eradicate people. They especially want to eradicate people who don't agree with their narrative and go along with the agenda. They especially want that gone. This isn't a leftist or a rightist issue. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with anybody who actually thinks independently. That's the reality. Number 5 is your taxes. Taxes have gone completely out of control, and they're going to continue to go out of control. It's designed this way. Your taxes are designed to do this. It's designed to eradicate the power to tax, the power to destroy, and that's exactly what they're doing. So that's what I was talking about. And the powers that be, the powers that run all of this, they don't like people talking about this kind of stuff, especially when you actually know what you're talking about. Notice I don't need notes. I don't need somebody to give me cue cards or like, dude, I know what I'm talking about because I've seen this stuff so many times that, like, yeah, can this be fixed? Absolutely, it can be fixed, but not with the people that have caused all the problems. And therein lies the challenge, because I call that out too. No, there's no way in hell I would say that you ever have any of the people that have caused all these problems, that you let them anywhere near power. No, most of them should be put out to pasture. That's me being kind, by the way. I can't say what I really think should happen because internet, and because we don't have real free speech, which is another issue, by the way, which should be brought up, by the way, that, that as far as I'm concerned, if you're in America and you operate a social media platform, you should be 100% bound by that. That if you start manipulating algorithms and banning people for speech, you should be actually held accountable for that, because you're acting basically as a government by proxy.